Hello, this is Patti, Southern Bliss Homestead. I am canning again. Still, it's July and everything's coming in. But actually, this is my last purple hull pea batch pretty much for right now. We are going to try to plant some more for this fall, but this is the last of the spring batch, and I just wanted to give you a couple tips if you're doing purple hull peas or lima beans or butter beans and things. It's a little bit different than the green beans, so I've learned the hard way. So this is the difference is, now you always start with the basics of your canning. Go back and watch my other videos, or go watch canning videos that tells you the basics of how to can stuff. You want to make sure you go to your ball book, or I have another video that I did the green beans, so you can watch my other video on the green beans. But use the standard ball book regulations of how to can as well. So you get your funnel, and you're going to put your peas in. But you do not fill it to the brim. That is the difference. These are fresh. I'm doing a raw pack, and if I see any bad stuff, I usually pick it out, but I try to already do that. They've been rinsed. So you do not fill it all the way like you do green beans, because these things swell, and so they will be above the water line, and then they will be brownish, and they don't look good. They're still edible if you do it within a year, but it's like you want it to last longer if you can. But I usually do it probably an inch or two from the top. It depends on how fresh the peas are, and these are pretty fresh. If they're more dried, you would only put it about in a half. If you dry it, you can also can dried beans like pinto beans and kidney beans and stuff like that, like you get from the store. But if you do that, you only get about a cup of them, and then you fill it up with hot water, because they will swell. So this is a raw pack, what they call raw pack, and you can raw pack your dried beans as well, but you don't put as much because they will absorb the water. That's why you soak them before you cook them, and because when you're canning it, they will absorb the water. So that is the tip that I learned the hard way. For the peas, even fresh peas do the same thing. So you just fill up each jar to the level. See, for each jar you just want to stay down a little bit, a couple inches. I don't have it measured exactly, I'm sorry. But you do want to give it more space, and do not fill it to the brim is all the most that you need to remember. Then you put, if you want your salt in, you will put a half a teaspoon of salt per pint jar, and if you do quart jars, you do a whole teaspoon of salt. And then you pour your hot water in, put your clean lids on, which I'll show you in just a moment. Make sure you do not have to, like I said before in my other videos, you do not have to put these in hot water like they used to do. They found out that they will seal just as well, but when they're coming from the store, you want to make sure that you just light soap and water in some warm water, and clean them and rinse them off real good, and before you use them. Make sure there's no germs, and check them for any imperfections, because sometimes even coming from the store there will be some imperfections. So just make sure the rubbers are sealed right. Okay, this is really cutting it down to the thing. I don't want to go overfill, but I don't want to waste just a couple of beans. So we're just going to kind of spread them out there. All right, so now we're going to add half a teaspoon of your salt. Like I said, I'm just using a sea salt, ground coarse sea salt this time. And then you fill it up with your hot water. to the bottom of the rim, where you take your measuring tool. I do not have one with me. Oops. Make sure that it just comes to right there, and then you can use your little I don't even know what this thing's called. Bubble debubbler, I guess, or whatever. You can use it for all different things, but that's what I'm using it for. You just kind of make sure there's no bubbles in there. And then I have my handy dandy little towel on here that is clean. I'm gonna make sure when you do this too, you want to make sure that you don't have any chips on your jars, so that, and it's smooth so that it will seal properly. So you got your canning lid, and you just finger tight. Some of these lids fit weird. Just finger tight it, and then you put it in your canner, and then you fill your canner up. And these peas take 40 minutes for pints, I believe. Yes. I forgot to look, but I just did some the other day. So they take longer than your green beans. Yep. Okay, let me put that in there. Alrighty. Put it on here. That's what you do. Alright, I'm just got through with the purple hull peas. Now I'm going into my Dixie peas, southern peas, and these, I just wanted to tell you, are the same method. You do not want to fill it all the way up. You just want to fill it to a little over halfway, about 2/3 of the way, because they swell and do the same thing. So it's better to have too much water than not enough when you're canning, as far as the end product goes. You know, because it will keep your product with a longer shelf life if it's underneath the water, in the water, I guess you could say. And I'll show you once these things are done. We'll look at them and see what more or less what I'm talking about.
Do you have any more jars?
Mm-hmm.
You gonna do all those peas?
Mm-hmm. These beans take the same amount of time as the purple hull peas, so I'm doing them together. I think I can get about 8 or 9 of these jars. And I have more here, and I've got more here, so I'm going to keep on going. Now these are Lima beans, and they're bigger beans, but it's the same process. I'm going to be putting them in pints. You only do it about that way because they will swell. And for Mac and I, pints works the best, and if family or friends come over, you just open more pints. Alright, that's the process. Filling up 2 canners. Got my jars steaming. hot in here. Hopefully I have enough. Might not. Alright, I've got them all. Canners full. Just enough water in there. Follow your guidelines. Actually, that might have too much water in there. Alright. Let me turn it up on high. I have gas stove, so use the adjustments of whatever stove that you have. But I put it on high. You wait until it steams, and then you put your pressure valve on according to the pounds of where you live. It's 10 pounds where I live, and then this one already has the 10-pound weight on it. It's built into this one, and the beans and peas process in pints 40 minutes. So as soon as it gets to its pressure, then you set your timer for 40 minutes and you process it for 40 minutes. And then we will see when it's done. Alright, the process is done. Time to take everything out. See how it did. Oh, get it open. I always have the hardest time opening this one. It's been sitting for an hour, so it should be done. Okay. Ooh, you can smell them. Smell them, smell them. There they are. Purple whole peas. Well, these didn't swell up as much as they have in the past, so that's good. At least there's a... As they sit, they congeal. I've noticed too with the purple whole peas. They kind of congeal up. All right. Wow. Well, I'm going to finish getting the rest of them out, but this is the end of the product. So thank you for following on my little canning journey here. And if you are blessed to grow some purple whole peas and some butter beans or lima beans, you can do it too. You can can your own. So just remember to follow your regulations and enjoy putting up food to help you have it for the winter, and it's some good eating. Thank you for watching. God bless.